I know many states have went to the rest of the school year being canceled. I'm in Missouri, and we are definitely one that has been canceled for the rest of the year. So it's kind of a heavy burden to bear when you think about not being able to end the year with your kiddos. But I've been working on some things that I'm hoping will help you. I have shared some of these with my families, and I'm hoping it's something they can use at home too. So I just wanted to show you that. So I took my math games that I absolutely love, and I made them so that they had parent instructions and you could send them home. So, or you could actually, I changed my digital terms of use so that you can actually share these via email if you wanted to, or you could post them to a secure site that you guys are using, like Seesaw or something like that. So I basically took the games that my kids love to play in the classroom, which I put a link in the comments to those games because it's a much bigger pack. There's more games, not more games, but there's 10 games, but there's more game boards. So, but I took just the 10 games that we play and that my kids love, and I added this parent information sheet. So it talks about what your child is learning, because I felt like that was really important, because sometimes parents may see the game and go, oh, it's just a game. I've got board games at home. We can just do games. Well, each one of these games is something different and special in itself. So it tells them what they're learning, how many players, and then how to prep the game and instructions for the game, and then any tips that they need. And so it kind of just helps them, like, this is a multi-step game, so it's going to be more difficult. Just lots of different little tips on each of these games. And then included is the actual game board. And this particular game, the collection game, has 2 game boards. And so it has that game board. But then it also includes the dice, just in case they don't have a dice at home. So they're able to cut and glue this one out, or maybe tape. If they have tape, they could tape that together. And all these games only use things that they would already have at home. So like for this game, they would be using coins, like from the piggy bank or something. So I've put these together in their own little set. So like this is a PDF that comes together, and you can choose to print them. And if you're doing take-home packets, sending those home or whatnot, or this particular product you can send via email. You just send one game at a time, not to overwhelm them. And or you can post it to a secured digital site. So that's one game. There's 10 of them. So this is a collection game. And then here's an example of the race game. Same setup. So they'll get kind of used to seeing the same setup every time that you send one of these. Talks about what your child is learning, how many players, game prep, instructions, and tips. And then this one includes the game board. You see that there. And numeral cards. So they can cut these apart and use the numeral cards to move on the board. And all that information is in the parent information here. So it talks about cutting apart the number cards. It talks about finding a small object as a mover, like it gives examples like coins, beans, Lego figures, buttons, small erasers, things like that they can use to move along the board. The reason that I did not put in there for them to maybe color in the spaces was so that they could play it again. Because I found in my classroom that once we play this once, we want to play it again. So there's 10 of these for each different game that I have, and it very much mirrors the game set that I have for my classroom. And I put a link to that in the comments. And if you're wanting to know more about those, I actually have a free webinar, also link in the comments, that you can learn more about these type of games and why we love them and why we love playing them, and the 10 different types that we play. But I thought these would be easier because, once this thing is lifted and we maybe go back to some sense of normalcy and go back to school, this could be something you could print and have ready for the year and send one home once a month, or, every couple of weeks. Or right now, you can take them as PDF files and you can send them to your family so that if they have a printer, they could print them out. I've gotten a lot of feedback from my my parents in my preschool classrooms, but they do have printers and they are able to print things out. So making those available to them if they wish to use them. And the kiddos adore these games. So I know that they're going to adore them at home, and they're going to have fun, and they're going to create memories with their children, and they're going to be learning something. And this part was really important for me to add in, though, what your child is learning, because I want them to understand that gameplay and playing in general can give them so many great benefits that they may not have thought about. So that is something that I just got posted in my TPT store. So I'm hoping that will be of help to you. And I also have a couple other things coming down the pipeline that are getting photographed today or tomorrow. And so they'll be soon, probably the end of this week, maybe. I've got some at-home literacy games, at-home math games, and at-home fine motor activities that differ from this a little bit because they are skill-based activities. So each one is focused on a skill, and they have an activity they can do at home, and it also has a parent sheet too. So just trying to make this something easy for parents, because they really are on the front lines right now. And this also works great as a homeschool connection, because you can play these at school once we get back there, and you can then send them home after you've played them, and then they can teach their families how to play them. So two birds, one stone right there. So I just want to pop in and share this with you, and I hope you're doing well. I know this is a very hard time for teachers. We miss our kiddos, and this is usually the time of year when we start seeing things just blossom. So it's not an easy time, so just know that I too am right there with you, and am feeling this hard time. So I'm wishing you well, stay safe, and I'm hoping maybe these can be of help to you. Bye, guys.